one of the four means of transaction along with your name. Cash App, PayPal, that's or PayPal, or Venmo, or Zelle to WVSW Radio, the internet station 23@gmail.com, or Lorenza D. Smith 15@gmail.com. As we get ready to move to our title for the day, we ask you to sow a seed of $1 with WVSW Radio at Cash App, $LORENZADSMITH. We ask you to send a donation of $1, sow a seed of $1 with WVSW Radio at the Cash App, Lorenza D. Smith. As we move forth with today's title, we want you to keep in mind, this is sort of like a springboard off a topic, a title that was done, or a show that was done by Minister Shannon. And I told her I was going to follow up, and she's going to come back and follow up again. The show they focused on was shame, or the shame in our communities. Do we have shame? So the title of today's show is Shame Must Return. And some people look at us like we're crazy. With this area of prosperity, we believe all this happened, but we do forget about what's important is making sure individuals understand when they do something and it's a shameful act, they should understand that no one is excluded whether you're a male or a female. It's just that when you do things that are shameful, you should understand that it has the consequences, not of just whatever they may give you. It might be, but the world. The world can have consequences. You see, the world don't owe you nothing. We always say the world don't owe you anything. So if you get to thinking that someone owes you something, making you feel good when you do something wrong, and that's the topic of our previous show, as I'm a co-host along with a producer on that show, the Minister Shannon, she's talking about shame. Shame how we come out of our house dressed. Shame how we go to church. Shame how we mistreat people and have no remorse about doing that. So her show is focused on today. We're going to kind of pick up with that. Shame must return to our community. We got to be shameful out here where we're creating families and creating the families with 3 and 4 different men, or men doing the same thing with women. Shame must come. I'm not talking about shame one way, not one-way aggression. I'm talking about two-way aggression. Shame should return for all, not for individuals. We should focus on celebrating our young people and graduating from high school and college, so they don't come in a society that's shameful on them because they're graduating. But we treat people who've been incarcerated, when they get out, we have barbecue picnics and everything for them. It is shameful when we continue to do that. Let's lift up our young people, lift up our middle-aged people who go to college, lift them up because they're working toward making an impact in our world. And we want the impact to come. But we got to understand, when we do not take the right steps, we do not do the right things for those individuals, and you do for others, it becomes shameful. And we have to address. So shame must return to our communities. This is a grassroots perspective, and we meet the needs of the individuals and the individuals in our neighborhood, block by block. Shame must return to our culture. We got to think that we look back 50 years, it was shameful for a young lady even to have a baby in high school. It was so shameful that a lot of the parents sent them to cousins out of town and everything. It was shameful to do it, but now it's not shameful. It is becoming a badge of honor. It's becoming a badge saying that I went through something. Yes, you went through where you set yourself up to struggle the rest of your days. See, we got to understand, no matter how many opportunities we seem to believe that we have and how much money we seem to believe that we're going to make, we still going to have consequences for our action. Shame must return, and we cannot step away from it. We can't move forth. We have to stop right there and pay the piper. And we ask you to get ready to pay the piper, because shame should be how you come up. Seeing young people who may be to the point I say a little large on the side, having these cut off shirts and cut off shorts and all that. We can't. It's not just them. Shame how we come at the house. Come out the house with a bunny. Come out the house with pajamas on. Be shamed when you're out in the public. Don't think just because you're doing it, no one is saying anything. Well, they don't have to say anything, because now they're drawing the image of the culture and drawing the image of females. When men walk around and boys walk around, their pants hanging and their ass out, and excuse my French, but I'm gonna have to say that, your ass out, your butt hanging out, and all this, you ought to be shameful. It ain't a fan that you be proud of, because that's a reflection on every black man. Just like it's on the culture. See, we got to believe that because we can be how people say we want to be, it don't affect us. It does affect us, because we don't operate in a small rim of life. We operate on a worldly sense. So other cultures see this, and we're not shameful. We need to be shameful. It is time that we tell each other, if you're doing it, change it. You don't need to go, and I'll check out some of the content shows that come on, people laying up, no matter how late it is, you got a bonnet on your head. You're doing stuff. You don't need to have that when 10 million people, 1 million people, 10,000 people watching you. They're only going to remember the image. Think about the image of the culture. We got to do that. Because when you think of an image of a culture and you think of a short person that knows karate, you don't think of being a black person or African-American person. You think of an Asian person. So the thing about when we go out and see you with your bonnets and your pajamas on, they think of a black person. See, we don't want to hear that. Shame got to come back. How you dress to go into our Lord's house. You go in there, splits always up to your hip, splits all the way up as far in the middle, as tight. That is a sense of not understanding. It's important how you present yourself. When you walk out your door, you present yourself. Let me give a shout out to some people that's joining us. Wallace Hawkins. Thank you, Wallace, so much for joining us. And I really, really appreciate supporting what we're trying to do. Famous Lent. Thank you so much for joining us. Barbara.Newland.58. Thank you, Barbara, so much. Caroline taking time to be here along with Oliver. Thank you. Eugene, thank you. And this is Mananu joining us as well. Betty, thank you for taking time. CJ Bradley for taking time to be a part of this. We have, is that Cuba 410907. Thank you so much for joining us. Many others are joining us. Thank you so much for taking time. But we're talking about this. It's no longer can we bury our head and think what we do don't affect our culture. It is a cultural identity. You might say we don't want to be labeled. See, another thing that we have to address that we have for years put our head in the sand because we thought we should keep it in-house. See, the thing about seeking counseling and therapy, we need it because we've been through a lot of things in our culture, in our homes, in our block by block, in our neighborhood, in our families. We need to seek it. We can no longer let it be something that we don't want to be involved because we got our label, because we've been told if you go up there and see those people in counseling, you must be crazy. It has nothing to do with that. See, we got to be, if we're shameful, we'll understand that we need the support. We need the help. See, it's easy to go up there and make requests to get something financially from those same people that sit up there. You say you don't want them to think you crazy, but you sprint to get that. But you need to sprint to address some of the issues. See, it's a shame when you don't do that. The stigma in our community, we have to get that out of our mind, because to save the culture, we have to have fit people. We have to be fit to be able to operate in our community. We are in relationship. We have to be fit to operate financially financially literate. We have to be fit, and we have to understand that's some shame, and we must address the shame. I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, the first one of the day. Thank you so much. This is an awesome individual who have taken time to be a part of what we're doing. This young lady owns what they call a publishing company. And in that publishing company, she addressed many issues. If you want to write your story, your memoir, or something you want to print, a coloring book, or whatever it may be, you can do this by contacting Lena Payton Webb, Blue Impressions Publishing.
To share your inspiring story with the world, look no further than Blue Impressions Publishing, the premier publishing company that specializes in creating meaningful and impactful books and journals. Blue Impressions Publishing, veteran-owned by author Lena Payton Webb, offers comprehensive services to bring your vision to life. Their mission is to empower writers, mental health professionals, consultants, coaches, and spiritual leaders to make a positive impact through their publications. Not only do they publish your words, they give you the strategy to be a successful author and earn an additional source of income. So whether you're an aspiring author or a seasoned writer, Blue Impressions Publishing is the publishing company for you. Don't let your story go untold. Visit the website today, yourartisticexpressions.com. You can also call 833-951-2665 to learn more about their services and to get started on your publishing journey. Blue Impressions Publishing, where inspiring stories leave a lasting impression.
Awesome. Lena Payton Webb, Blue Impression Publishing. Give them a call. The number was called out, but I'll repeat it right quick. That is 833-951-2665. Thank you so much for being a part of that. That's Blue Publishing, Blue Impressions Publishing. She's a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Party. Give a shout out because she's part of the Blue and White family. And we want to truly thank you, Lena, for entrusting us and sharing what you have in your business. It's a great opportunity if you want to do a coloring book, you want to do a comic book, if you want to, it's whatever you want to tell your story, get with them and that organization. Or go to Facebook, type in Lena Payton, Lena Payton, Payton, Webb, WOBB, and you can populate information and contact her. When we're talking about shame must return, it's the title of today's show. This is WVSW Radio, the internet station. We're number one. We're excited because we have listeners and watchers in 43 countries on 6 continents. We have several people that are joining. For sure, I know this young lady serving our country, Giovanna Williams, and I know she's in the Middle East. And thank you. Share with the unit. Check us out. Check it out to see what's going on, because we're offering an opportunity to be interactive and share some thoughts with you. Alvin Jackson, thank you, Alvin, for taking time. We have a user over here along with, we got several other new messages. Alfort, thank you so much for joining us. Agnes, thank you for taking the time to be here. Ruth, thank you for just sharing this moment with us. It's truly a special moment. We're talking about a topic that a lot of us try to slide by, get by. Shame. Shame must return. We have to have shame when we come outside the door. You know, I always try to tell people, when you leave your home, you're representing yourself, true enough, but you also put yourself in a realm of interviewing. See, the thing about it, you never know when you will have to interview who you interview. The way you go out of the house, you call it all just about pleasure time. What you post on Facebook, what you're doing, where you're going, and everything, some of the attire that you have on, people check that too. When the people are hiring individuals for their organization, they want the best. Now, you might think, well, we're in a new age now. Okay, we're in a new age, but we got people still, the standard is still the standard. See, the requirements are still the same. Sometimes we want the requirement to change to fit us, when we got to realize we want that organization bad enough that we're willing to do what it takes so we can represent in a manner. So going out with your money, going out with your pajamas, going out with all everything over your head, and just going out inappropriate. My parents always told me, particularly mama, and she told all of us that, always dress appropriate, especially with your undergarment, because you never know that one day you're gonna have a accident, and then they may have to cut your shorts or your dress off you, or your shirt off, or your blouse, and you got the regularest undergarment that is. Don't do that. Dress to be impressed every day. That's what you have to do. I found out something that in position where I am now in life, I don't always have to put on suits, and don't have to put on. At one time I did when I was full time, on top of the job. Now being able to run things and do what I want to do through my business, and working at a place that allowed me to do that. Every now and then when I dress and put a suit on, I'm not going nowhere. We're going up to the normal store I go to. An individual, man, you look real nice today, because being dressed to impress is important. Have a little shame. See, it's shameful when you go out and your clothes hanging all off, your clothes too big, falling off you, and you're not clean. See, your hygiene means something too. See, we got to understand shame come in. So as we work through this topic or this title, but it's particularly the word shame, I want us to take an opportunity to kind of look at some things in relationship to shame. See, how would you define shame? And too many people don't understand. How would you define shame? Is it where you're in a position where you are not bringing the best representation? How do you define shame? Are you in a position not to have the best representation of yourself? Or are you presentable? Or are you speaking or doing things in a manner? Because see, your behavior can lead towards shame. So when we talk about shame, how you represent yourself, how you articulate yourself, how you do things that create a narrative that you truly don't want to have as a narrative. And too many times we have individuals think that it's okay. It ain't always okay. It ain't always all right to do some of the things that some of us do. We have to keep in mind, we have to represent like we are trying to be the best every day, or working on being the best version of yourself. See, a lot of times individuals don't see that. They see that it's okay to truly be looking like that. And we have to talk to each other. We had a show yesterday, I thought was that I do in a series about supporting, empowering, building our boys to be impactful men. Building our boys to be impactful men. And you do that by discussing them, not putting themselves in embarrassing situations, or not humiliating themselves or others. See, because embarrassment is nothing but a feeling. Humiliation is a feeling. And too many times we get caught up in thinking that we can do what we want to do. We may think we can do what we want to do, but truly we just can't get out and do what we want to do. So if we define or explain a meaning of shame, we say shame is a feeling of embarrassment, humiliation that arise from a perception of having done something dishonorable, immoral, or improper. We'll say that again. a feeling of embarrassment and humiliation that leads to a perspective about you. That includes dishonor, immoral, improper. And you know, coming out with the bonnet and that's come on now. Let's represent well. See, people who experience shame use to try to hide the things they feel ashamed about. See, shame is about feelings of what you're ashamed of, what you've done. Shame is all about embarrassment. Shame is all about humiliation. See, we got to bring shame back. And as the title says, shame must return. Because we have went through this period that people can do anything and never feel shame about it. Don't feel humiliated about it. Because, see, they think that everybody else do it. See, we got to stop thinking everybody else do it, so it's all right to do it. Someone who got away with it don't mean you're going to get away with it. The world don't owe us nothing. It's the world don't owe you anything. And too many times people think the world owes them something. Shame must return. See, when we look at shame, it becomes chronicle. It consistently go on and on and on because, see, you have not been addressed to let you know that now you need to change that because this is a sense of embarrassment. This is humiliation. It's immoral. It's dishonorable. It's improper. You have it in your mind, no one can tell you anything because I'm going to do it my way. See, your way ain't always the right way. And if your way is improper, if your word is dishonorable, if your way is immoral, that don't make it right. That doesn't make it right. And too many times individuals get caught up thinking they can do it my way. And the end result is not always good. We're going to give a shout out to our next sponsor. Truly is a great opportunity to allow this organization to talk about making a difference in the community, but also a vendor that you can check with L&T Starworth Lawn Service, LLC.
That's right, hard work. Check out L&T Starworth Lawn Service, LLC, the manicure expert in South Central Alabama. For more information, call Mr. Tony Starworth at 334-300 7401. Again, that's 334-300-7401. Or just go to Facebook and check out Anthony Starworth. Anthony, and who can connect with you. So we look forward to making it do what it do.
That's L&T Starworth Lawn Service, LLC. They're manicure experts in South Central Alabama. Actually, give Mr. Anthony Starworth a call at 334-300-7401 or go to Facebook, type in Anthony Starworth, request to be a friend, and he can share how he can help you, your lawn to be manicured, your land to be cleaned off, move things for you, Give him a shout. That's Anthony Stallworth. He's a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. He's all about big and better business. He's doing an awesome job. Thank you, Brother Stallworth, for doing what you're doing. As we move forth on our ideal of shame, we have to remember that what is the root cause of shame? What is the root cause? I just shared with you that shame is a feeling of embarrassment and humiliation. We got to bring that back. See, if you do something and you humiliate about it, you will not repeat that over and over again. But if you don't address it, and if people allow it to keep moving in society and you keep doing it, you're going to do it. If you did it as a child, you're going to do it as an adult. We always said bully individuals, if they never was stopped or corrected as a child, they're going to bully on the job as an adult. I don't care what career you're in, a job you're in, or what field you're in. If the bully never been corrected, they're going to continue to bully. So we want to know, what is the root cause of shame? We know what shame is. See, the cause of shame varies, depending on the person. Causes of shame vary depending on the person. However, any official, internal, and external rejection can typically trigger existing insecurity, beliefs, and flaws. So we know shame can fester and grow when someone is insecure. Shame can come into play when people's beliefs are sometimes challenged. Shame come into play when their flaws stand out more than normally. So people have to keep that in mind. The root cause of shame depends on whoever the individual is. Not all 1, 2, 3. This is the way it is. It varies depending on the person. See, insecurity come into play a lot of time in relationship when you lack trust. Insecurity come into play when you don't feel safe. Insecurity comes into play in relationship in life when you don't feel secure. So we have to keep in mind that the root cause of shame varies, but you know it exists because it exists in insecurity. It exists in beliefs. It exists in flaws. And these existing insecurity usually develop, and I'm going to say something, I want y'all to remember this, in early life. You become insecure because you never addressed it. See, insecurity and flaws need to be addressed by getting the right support. And as we have our children, we got to identify and make sure they get the right support so they can get over this, so they won't take it into adulthood. Your relationship failed or failing because you're dealing with someone who never healed from insecurity. They never heal from insecurity because no one thought it was important to address that. We're not going to look at it ourselves. Someone around you must identify and say, you need to seek some help. You're in a relationship and you thought the world, and the person ended up stepping outside and infidelity and doing things. That's because they're not comfortable with themselves. They're insecure. They don't trust you because they can't trust themselves. Everything I believe when you're dealing with causes and the inner self starts inside. It's an internal challenge. See, when people develop these insecurities early in life as a response to painful criticism, rejection, and pain. This is the root cause of it. You're insecure, has to do with your beliefs when things are triggered, has to do with your flaws. But the biggest thing that always happened in a response, because it happened early in your life, was that the painful criticism. No one wants to be criticized. That old saying about no one wants to hear no. No is a answer that triggers people. But shame is all about painful criticism, rejection, and just pain in general. That's what it's all about. And we have to keep that in mind. I want to give a shout out to our next sponsor. It's exciting to have this team or this venue with you. Tell you, they're doing an awesome job. That's Mary Ruth's Restaurant in Georgiana, Alabama. The venue that's providing Southern cooking in South Central Alabama.
Are you looking for home-cooked food in a family-friendly environment? Well, look no further than Mary Ruth's. Mary Ruth's Restaurant, located at 261 State Highway 106, offers home-cooked breakfast. All the fixings, you name it, they've got it. And not just home-cooked breakfast. Home-cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. Mary Ruth's Restaurant specializes in a meat and 3 vegetables meal. And meat and 3. Also, home-cooked hamburgers, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, and much, much more. Seafood Fridays. Mary Ruth's Restaurant has Seafood Fridays. Barbecue Saturday. And it's all caught fresh and made from scratch, including the desserts and so much more. Good. Stop by 261 West State Highway 106 in Georgiana. Mary Ruth's Restaurant. Call today, 334-362-4032. That's 334-362-4032. Mary Ruth's Restaurant. Home-cooked meals, family-friendly environment, great food. Who can ask for more in a restaurant? Mary Ruth's Restaurant in Georgiana. Breakfast from 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. Monday through Saturday. Lunch from 11 to 2. And dinner from 5 until 9. Barbecue Saturdays begin at 11 a.m. and last until 9. Mary Ruth's Restaurant in Georgiana. Home-cooked food with a family-friendly environment. Come on by. From 11 a.m. until 5 p.m.
That's Mary Ruth's Restaurant in Georgiana, Alabama, located at 261 State Highway 106 West, Georgiana, Alabama. The co-owners are Brother Marvin Lala Smith, a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Sarah Katrina Roper Smith, member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Check them out. Give them a call. You can call Marvin because go to his Facebook. He posts all his meals, exactly what he has on the line. You take a picture of it. You can kind of see so you can get an idea. You can give him a call at 334-549-0950. That's Mary Ruth's Restaurant in Georgiana, Alabama. As we move forth on our title today, Shame Must Return. We need to look at the various categories of shame. See, you would say the types of shame, but we'll just pretty much say the types of shame and then shameful behavior. See, the types of shame is so important that we understand. See, most psychologists identify 4 categories in the narcissist. See, I was listening to a content with Lady Narcissist, and she was talking about how, she needs to adapt how she did her previous companion, or mate, or partner. Then the things she did to get back at him, and that person showed. See, being a narcissist means you don't have empathy. You lack empathy. See, you have to be diagnosed with that. See, people use that word, narcissist. She's a narcissist. But you need to be dynamic, but your action can show that when you are that way, you have no shame. You don't care about what happened. First of all, you don't care about your people around you. You don't care about people on your job. You just don't care about nobody because you become selfish. So you have no empathy. See, empathy means selfless. And we have to kind of take into play what people really understand. See, existentialists shame occurs when we become self-aware of our objectives, our unpleasant truth about ourselves and our situation. Like I said, see, shame is you coming out with that bunny on your head, or coming with your pants dropped down below your waist, with pajama bottom on, house shoes, sliding around, and all this. See, you ought to have some shame. But see, you don't have any shame because you haven't been addressed in the manner, because we get so angry when people address her. People give you that unpleasant truth. You shouldn't be coming out like that. Shame is that when you decide to start a family without the old traditional marry before you carry, then you're going to come with 3, 4, 5 different. Yes, our doors are open because our churches are a place of prosperity now. They try to see beyond this, but back in the old school, you couldn't just come and just sit on the front row with all those different children with no male. See, that this is kind of thing, just because society accept that and build that, there should be some sense of shame. You should be coming with a dress split all the way up close to your crotch area. You should be coming with a dress split all the way down to your navel. You said you're not shamed. You should be shamed. See, that's an unpleasant situation. But the unpleasant truth is that you shouldn't have that. Oh, here you are. You got these children, 12, 13, 14, some 4, 5, 3, 2. They see how their mother is dressed. So you all have enough shame for your children to see you like this. See, shame must return. Because when you get the unpleasant truth, when you hear of fear rejection, see, that allows you to understand that I need to make adjustment. But have we become in this world, in our culture, in our neighborhoods, block by block, in our home, that doesn't matter? Have we gotten to that point that shame don't matter? Yes, everybody got something going on in their life. We do. Perfect. See, God, what we got to understand with our Lord and Savior, you are imperfect people that can do perfect things. So believe when people tell you or share with you the root cause of what's going on, or share with you that you are in a shameful manner. Don't get upset with them. We got to be able to communicate with each other. Because we're running what we say eventually this gender war, especially in our culture, the Black culture, the African American. That's heavy. That's one. See what the Roosters coming back home in the 80s and 90s when all the opportunities that came about, and women kind of they started making song. I don't want no scrub. I don't want about hanging out the car. I don't want to, dusted, bomb, lecherous, and all that. The men in our culture, But see, these young fellas are part of what we say. They're not Generation X. They're Generation Z, Y, whatever you want to call them. They're millennials, and they're not seeing the same thing that you see. And these boys are becoming impactful men, and they're going to begin to challenge what you say and what you do. They understand where they roll. We all got to understand we have a role. And if we do things to put us in a shameful and unpleasant situation, we have to accept that. Because, see, the truth will set you free. How you dress and go out can be shameful. The places accept that and make an adjustment. Cars are coming. We have to account for our action. We have to understand the cause of what we deal with. We have to understand what are the symptoms. There are some symptoms that come into play. And those symptoms are there, and we can't overlook them. We can no longer bury our head in the sand. We must raise our head up and get the stigma out of our culture and out of our communities. The stigma of not getting help when we know we need help. Don't be ashamed to get better. Don't be ashamed to get better. Shame must return. This is WVSW Radio, the internet station. We're number one. We have listeners in 43 countries and on 6 continents. I'm Dr. Lorenzo D. Smith, and today is Our Voice. It's a special edition today, and a special episode, and we're talking about shame must return. We can't bury our heads. We have to address issues. People that are not appropriate dressed, we ought to be able to say they're not appropriate dressed to be out here. And not say, oh, they ain't bother me, I'm scared. Oh, I hope they don't say that. We have to say some things. And sometimes same gender talk to each other better than the opposite of gender. So you got to understand. When people build where you have disrespect for gender, you can't tell them anything. We can sit up and say, "Oh, she got all that right there," but as the same genders, young lady, with someone that's obviously saying, "Man, we don't like that. We don't want that." You look at us like we're crazy. We don't. Days are coming. You're going to find out. They want that. They want their with all this extra stuff you don't need to have. God blessed us with a natural, beautiful skin tone and beautiful skin. Old saying, black don't crack, but you still old. And we have to continue to understand. Now, we have to also understand symptoms of shame. We got to understand that shame attributes to confusion. You can't say we don't have confusion now in our world. We want to blame somebody else, one culture, another culture. Well, why don't we step up and take the responsibility and say, we need to adjust. We need to do what's right. We need to work together and not let people continue to divide us as a culture. Attributed to confusion. That's confusion. If you want to defeat, you have to get inside. Remember the story of Troy? Little Troy? They had to get inside. And they couldn't get through the walls by knocking the walls down. They came in something that was a light for those individuals that let them get inside. We have to understand. We got to stop people from making us chaotic in the mind. When chaos comes up in our mind, it comes out of the community. We have to be ashamed. We have to understand that confusion is here. Downcast eyes are here. Static posture is here. Lowered head is here. These are symptoms of shame. He's always told, stand up, raise your shoulders up, pick your chest up, pick your head up, and always look at a person in their eyes when you're talking. I don't care what culture, what race they are. See, you got nothing to be ashamed of. It's here. We need to adjust it. Violence don't get you the respect you think it does. Because it leads sometimes to more shame. So when you see the symptoms of shame, we have to understand that most of the times our outward physiological signs are talking about our internal shame experience. See, your external will only show what's inside of you. If you lower your head, if you're slumped over, if you're not standing tall and being the man, being the woman you supposed to be, then you're ashamed of something, because something internal has caused you to feel physically shame. Your posture have collapsed. And see, one way to treat the symptom of shame, especially dealing with your posture, is to retreat oneself. Retreat oneself. Say, treat the situation of symptoms of shame is to retreat ourselves. Make ourselves whole. Be the best version of yourself. Don't do things for others. Do it for yourself. And the bottom line that we have to understand that self-worth have to be understood. Your self-worth is determined basically on what you believe. I have a caller online that they just hung up. It was through a computer. I know 1111, but they hung up, and I was going to get them online. So you can call back and share your thoughts in regards to shame. You may not accept or understand what we're sharing, but life is everybody have an opportunity to have the opinion. We're interactive. Please call back. Like I said, the number was, I could tell it's a computer, because a lot of times when they call from a computer, they have that number, that specific number. So call back, raise your hand up. And the call-in number is 347-857-4192. 347-857-4192. Press 1, and I'll make sure I get you on the line by identifying the last 4 digits of your cell. Ask for your location. You get a chance to chat with Dr. Elizabeth D. Smith as we talk about shame. Soap Gems from Jackson and Grace is our next advertisement.
If you want to purchase some of the best soap and perfume scents in South Central Alabama, contact Soap Gems by Jackson and Grace. The owner is Ms. Jackson. Contact number 251-369-1344, or go to Facebook. Type in Jennifer with 1 N Jackson or Charlie's Angel. There's several items like bombshell, chance of a lifetime, lovey lovers, straight savage, manpower, goat milk lotion, and coming lavender sea salt. So please check her out. Again, that number is 251-369-1344. Soap Gym by Jackson and Grace.
Soap Gems by Jackson and Grace. Thank you so much for each and every one of you all joining us. Soap Gem from Jackson and Grace has some awesome perfume and soap scents. You can give them a call at 251-369-1344. That's Jennifer Jackson. Or you can go to Facebook and type in Jennifer Jackson along with Charlie Angel, and they'll populate the information. Contact them, see if some of those products that was mentioned in the commercial. Check them out. Give her a shout out. That's Soap Gems from Jackson and Grace. Also, want to give a shout out to some individuals that are joining us. Thank you so much. We got Hit's joining us. Thank you, Hit, so much for joining us. We have Miss Bush EDS, member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We have Money on Deck. Thank you for joining us. So I have Bama 205. Thank you so much. Miguel, thank you so much. Matt, thank you so much. We got Flyman, thank you so much. We have a user for Matt Fernando. Thank you. We have Coop. Thank you for joining. G Money. Thank you, G Money, for taking time. Carolyn. Thank you. Dale. Thank you. Bailey. Thank you. Dane. Thank you so much. Ara Train. Thank you so much. Renee Hinton. Thank you. Miss CEO. O with the number 1. John. Thank you for taking time. We have Otis. Thank you for being here, Otis. We have Grandpa. Thank you, Grandpa, for being here. Thank you. That's T22. Thank you. We have a user, Rose. Thank you for taking time. Kalki. Thank you so much. Elbella. Thank you for taking time. Larry Smith. Thank you, Larry. Henry Montoya. Thank you so much. We have Silver Christ. Silver Christ. That's what he got on here. Thank you. Big Time. Thank you, Big Time. Say hi to Big Time. Thank you so much for joining. Carmen. Thank you for the day. Thank you so much. Darlene. Thank you so much. User. Big Time again. George. Thank you for taking time to be a part of it. This Uncle Lee. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much. This is to Renee. Thank you so much. McNeely, Norma, Jerry, Jackie, Chama, as well as you got Following the Funny Content joining us. Thank you so much. You also have many. Thank you, each and every one of y'all, for taking time to be a part of this. We're just so thankful that you have time to be here with us supporting. As we get close to the closing of the hour, which we went over the 1 hour already, I got to make sure because we just got a couple of things that we want to share with you, and we also want to run our commercial. We're going to have to say that what does toxic shame feel like? What would be some symptoms of toxic shame? First of all, when you get toxic shame feelings, see, shame is all about a feeling of humiliation, dishonor, immoral. But when we're talking about toxic feeling, we have to look at feeling of worthlessness. You don't feel like you're worthy. One of the biggest things that people always run into, self-worth. We talk about how important you understand your self-worth. Most of your professional in that field of psychology or even in counseling, social work, they always talk about, do you think you're worthy? Self-worth is so important. So toxic shame is a feeling of worthlessness and self-loathing are the core of toxic shame. Those are the core. But it can come with many signs and symptoms that includes constant self-criticism. People say, I can criticize myself. I don't need you to do it. But you constantly do it, make you feel like you're not worth. So that's toxic. So you also have this internalization going on in regards to how others see you. See, you have to know internally that you're all right. You have to believe in yourself. Your self-worth is so important. When you feel like you're not doing what you should do, you feel humiliated every time you do something, you become toxic yourself because you're going to respond to individuals. It also makes you harder from within inside. See, you harder than you realistically need to be because you determine what you take inside. You determine. So if you don't need to take in garbage in and garbage out, so your self-worth determines how you feel about yourself. Your self-worth is all about what I believe I'm worthy of. I don't need nobody else to determine my worth. Don't allow yourself to feel worthlessness. Don't allow yourself to self-loathing because they are the core of toxic shame. We have to understand that. That's truly what we have to understand. That when you don't value yourself, it leads you to not to be the best version of yourself. See, shame can cause pain. Shame can form guilt. So a lot of times we have to look at shame and address it. Seek the right counsel. Look at how you're going to cope with it. Look at shame versus guilt. It's amazing. There's in a relationship, we place this particular thing that says sign was in a relationship, and we break it into acronyms: shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. That is the sign language of a relationship. People in there is shame. They feel insulted. Then they feel guilty for what they have done. And then they'll think about it. I need to be right. I can't be wrong on this. So it continues to become an internal fight. See, that fight is inside of you. That fight is working 24 hours a day. That old saying about toxic people normally bring toxicity to others. The toxic is inside of you. It can be from shame. It can be from humiliation. But it's there. The guilt you have for not doing what you could have, the guilt to see that you do what was right, leads you to shame. That guilt will to maneuver around it. We try to not deal with it accordingly. So we end up in a situation. We let guilt be associated with shame. See, guilt is the acknowledgement that we have done something wrong. Somebody call it out, and then you begin to sign language. Shame, then you're going to insult them. Now you know you're feeling guilty for what you have done, and then you come back and you need to be right. You feel like you need to be right. See, you knowing that guilt is acknowledging that we have done something wrong. But the behavior does not define who we are as a person. Someone experiencing guilt is able to recognize the positive qualities and still see themselves in a good light. They know they did wrong. They know they're guilty about it. Now they got to defend it because they want to continue to be positive. See, shame again is the belief that we have done something wrong that makes us a bad person. We still want to identify the positive qualities, and we always see ourselves in a good light. So when we talk about shame versus guilt, it comes hand in hand. It's part of sign language. In a relationship, you're going to experience. You may not see this, but when you're in a relationship, you're going to experience sign language. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. It's associated a lot of time with people in life. It's all about shame. We must bring shame back. Shame must return. There's no way we can get around it. If we shame, we're constantly toxic with our shame, it's going to create low self-esteem. You do this all the time. You're going to build up walls. You can't put a wall around your heart because God is in control of that. Control your heart and your soul. So let's try to do what's best and what's right. Our title of today's show is Shame Must Return. We're going to have another version of it because I know Jennifer Shannon will come on her show and talk some more about shame. Shame must return in our communities, in our culture, back in the world. We can't continue to do these negative things and think there is no sense of consequences comes about. We're going to experience things, we're going to do wrong. We're going to make choices, might not be the right choices. It's what we do after the choice is made. Determine your self-worth. Truly has been awesome. We give a shout out to a few more people that's joined us. I did call Guy Road, Luber. Thank you. We also have that look like Aura and Blakelock. Thank you, Aura and Blakelock. Jose, thank you. Alice, Diddy, thank you so much. Crystal, Arch. Cupcake, thank you so much for joining. Anna, thank you. A user, Fernando, thank you so much for joining. G Money, thank you so much. Carolyn Westbrook, thank you for taking time. We have Dale Bailey, thank you so much. I'll tell you, it's been awesome coming today and share about our title, Shame Must Return. We have a couple more advertisement we must play before we get out of here. And I tell you, it's good. It's good. It's a blessing. And tomorrow we have our Love Cafe tomorrow. Make sure that is today. Love Cafe tomorrow. So I'm really excited about having Love Cafe. We're going to make sure we do what we need to do. And that show is early. It's a 7 o'clock show. So truly, we're willing to come and bring an awesome show to you tomorrow. Also, we're going to be rolling to see if the Minister Shannon be ready to go. If not, we'll do it for sure next week. Truly, it was awesome having you here. We're going to give a shout out to Tri-Stat LLC with Mr. William Scott. That's our next advertisement.
Tri-Stat LLC can grow your business. We provide specialized business and management consulting services. Tri-Stat LLC meets your consulting needs in the industry of engineering, accounting, research, and management service sector. Contact Mr. William Scott at 334-320-5438 or 334-526-0228.
Mr. William Scott, Tri-Stat LLC, meet your consultant need. They're there to provide you research, help you minister the grant that you may receive, put together a feasible plan for success in your local agency, government agency, rural areas that are towns that are there to work with you, also nonprofits as well. Give a shout out to William Scott, and the number to contact Mr. Scott is 334-320-5438. I'll go to Facebook, type in William Scott. Give a shout out to Ernestine, Messiahs. Thank you so much for joining. We have another user. Thank each and every one of you all for taking time. DJ just popped in. Mark, thank you, Mark, for popping in and being a part of this today. Truly, we're blessed to be here. See, we have faith. And when we're talking about faith, we have a live faith. That, we know faith is dead without work. We're putting the work in. In September will be our 7th year broadcasting to be where we're the now WVSW, the internet station. We're number 1. First radio station that includes the social media sites. Now, that's not all of them, but we're broadcast on a lot of them that allow us to broadcast. We thank those sites for allowing us to get the word out. Thank you for joining us. Give a shout out to Mark. He's joining us. Ebony Baby, thank you so much. It says Ebony Baby. Thank you so much. Caesar, Keisha, thank you for joining us. These are people slowly coming in. As we move forward to close this show, again, check us out, the Love Cafe. We have on tomorrow night, Thursday night. We're going to make it do what it do. And it's an early show, so make sure, when I say early part of it, it's a 7 o'clock show. It's a 6 o'clock show. So we're going to make sure we make it do what it do. And the Love Cafe just focus on the just meeting your love appetite. It soothes your appetite. That's the Love Cafe. The menu is the lust, the attraction, the attachment, and finally it's just being able to be a part and grow through each phases of your relationship. I tell you, it was awesome. But the day wouldn't be complete. And I play our co-sponsors, our support team, the Brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Zeta Phi Sigma chapter of Greenville, Alabama, will be having their Summer in Blue Jam. And it will be in Georgetown, Alabama at the Heirloom Event Center, located at 119 State Highway 106 West. It's on June the 21st from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. They will provide heady hors d'oeuvres, but you are the BYOB. Come and support the Men of Blue and the foundation to provide scholarship to our young men from in what we call South Central Alabama, from Crenshaw County all the way over to Choctaw County. That's a big belt of counties, and we provided them. We want to give a shout out to those individuals that received the brother Dr. Fred Thomas Jr. scholarship for 2020-24. We had 6 candidates, and we will make sure we give them a shout out, and they will be posted on Facebook along with all the information with Zeta Phi Sigma chapter. Thank you, brother, so much for doing what you're doing. Give a shout out to the Southern region, which is part of where Alabama is located, to electing their new Southern region director, number 37, and that is Brother Kenneth Sars Strader out of the great state of Georgia. Brother Strader, do what you know what to do. You ask at the question, who's next? You're next. Make it happen. Make it do what it do. You guys support at Zeta Phi Sigma chapter, along with all the brothers in that state of Alabama and in the region. We're going to make it happen. Continue doing what you're doing, Brother Starter, and congratulations to you for being elected the 37th Premier Southern Region Director for 2024 through 2026. And culture for service and service we better. But Zeta Phi Sigma wanted to share their advertisement as we get ready to close. Those brothers of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity.
It's been a pleasure to talk about the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity incorporated, Zeta Phi Sigma chapter in Greenville, Alabama. The most progressive brothers of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity incorporated. They're providing service. They're motto, culture for service and service for humanity. If you want to contact those brothers, you can go to Facebook, Zeta Phi Sigma Greenville, or you can go to Instagram, and that's Zeta Phi Sigma Greenville with the number 10. And if you want to tweet those brothers, that's Zeta Phi Sigma _10. Brothers of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, we're proud of you. Make it do what it do.
We'll give a shout out to those brothers of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. We say keep doing what you're doing. They say they lead and never follow. Support them on their Summer in Blue Jam on the 21st of June, 2024, from 7 to 11 at the Heirloom Event Center. Brothers gonna make it happen. Raise that process so you can continue to fund the young men in South Central Alabama. God is good. We love you from our heart. Be responsible. And I want to say that as we close out, I love you, and ain't a thing you can do about it. Have an awesome rest of the evening. And as we, like I said, we still here, and we want to make sure we can provide you with a great opportunity to have a good time.
Standing right there, just to see a man. What more do you know? It hasn't been easy, no.